Mara Chen never wanted to be a soldier. She dreamed of being an artist, painting wild skies and distant planets, not fighting for scraps on a mining moon called Sable 3, but when the Vexorians invaded, her world changed forever. But the Vexorians overwhelmed them, blinding comms, disabling vehicles, and driving the survivors into the ancient tunnels below the mines. Mara's mother was captured in the chaos. Her father disappeared while sabotaging a Vexorian patrol. They waited, the Vexorians would pick them off one by one. She gathered the frightened colonists, her voice shaking but clear. We can't survive alone. We want to see our families again. We fight. We take back the mines. We find a way out together. Mara's group hid in old generator rooms, scavenging food from forgotten rations and using water filters left by her father. Patel spent hours hacking its circuits, finally unlocking a live map of enemy patrols. The group lost one of the miners, who stayed behind to hold a door shut, while the others escaped. Guilt and grief weighed on Mara, but she forced herself to push forward, knowing every choice was survival or extinction. With this, the group avoided 2 ambushes and rescued a group of trapped children from a caved-in shaft. At night, Jin and Mara would listen to enemy radio chatter, trying to learn the aliens' patterns. Now, with only her younger brother Jin, Mara huddled in the dark, clutching a battered sketchbook and the battered hope that they might live through the night. Mara refused to leave anyone behind, sending Jin and a runner back to search, even as alarms blared overhead. Mara's group split up, scattering to hidden refuges. Communication faltered, and hope began to fade again. People no longer talked of surrender. They talked of when they would drive the invaders off Sable 3, not if. Yet word of the successful sabotage spread like wildfire among the scattered survivors. If we can sabotage their power relay, maybe we can slow their machines and give ourselves a fighting chance. Mara's group was forced ever deeper, cut off from sunlight, food, and fresh air. Yet now the survivors fought back with cleverness and ferocity. Patel devised a daring plan. If they could overload the reactor, the resulting energy surge would disable the alien machines and force a retreat. This is our home, Mara told the group. We'll fight for every inch. Patel, eyes tired but bright, nodded. If we hit them hard, we might even make them pull back from the tunnels. Mara, clutching her father's old cum unit, coordinated the assault on the reactor. Explosions rocked the tunnels as miners detonated charges on support pillars, sending debris crashing onto the Vexorian command post. Patel and Mara reached the reactor control, fighting through plasma fire and smoke. Mara stood in the ruined control room, battered but alive, surrounded by grateful survivors. Word spread to every human outpost. The miners of Sable 3 had beaten the invaders with grit, unity, and hope. Outside, for the first time in weeks, the sky above Sable 3 was free. Patel and 2 miners wired makeshift explosives from mining charges. Mara and Jin led the group through air vents, using the hacked drone to distract sentries. Alien armor failed. In the confusion, Mara led a charge ordinary colonists, overwhelming the stunned invaders with tools, rocks, and sheer determination. Children became lookouts, warning of incoming machines. Jin led groups through maze-like passages, marking escape routes with Mara's chalk symbols. The old engineer Patel risked everything to splice into a control panel, his hands steady even as plasma bolts echoed down the corridors. But now, everywhere in the system, people told her story, a reminder that ordinary humans, when united, could do the impossible. She gave the scared colonists hope, telling stories at night, sketching scenes of freedom on tunnel walls. Her mother, though weary and traumatized, organized supplies and comforted those who faltered. I know a secret tunnel my father showed me before. The blast lit up the tunnels in blue fire, sending shockwaves through the colony and plunging part of the surface compound into darkness. In the chaos, Mara and Jin rescued their mother and several other prisoners, guiding them through smoke-filled shafts back to safety. His voice trailed off, but the spark in his eyes gave Mara courage. They came from the stars in silent black ships, cutting off every exit, their machines marching like a storm across the barren wastes. With that, the humans prepared their first real attack. The Vexorians hunted survivors with search drones, dragging them away in silent transports. Supplies ran low. Fearful arguments broke out among the scattered colonists. Some wanted to surrender, others whispered about finding an escape route through collapsed tunnels. but nobody had the courage to go alone. At first, the colony's defense teams tried to resist, but hope was hard to hold on to when every hour brought new horrors. On the third night, as machines prowled overhead, Mara made her decision. The old miners looked doubtful, but Jin stepped forward. That night, beneath the iron moons of Sable 3, a handful of desperate humans began to plan their rebellion. The next day, Mara led the group deeper into the labyrinth beneath the surface. Jin guided them through forgotten passages and narrow vents. The miners taught everyone how to avoid seismic sensors and identify safe ground. Mara, thinking like an artist, marked every route with chalk sketches symbols of hope and direction. Above, the Vexorians sent squads to collapse tunnel entrances and cut off air supplies. A breakthrough came when Mara and an engineer named Patel captured a small Vexorian recon drone, but each day grew more dangerous. Vexorian patrol nearly caught them at a collapsed airlock. In a hidden alcove, Mara rallied the group. "We know their routes now. We have the drone." The plan was dangerous, but the group agreed. Jin whispered, "We fight for everyone they took." The assault on the Vexorian power relay was a blur of fear and courage. They timed the explosion to coincide with the shift change of the Vexorian patrols. But victory was costly. Patel was badly wounded by shrapnel. 2 others went missing in the confusion. As the Vexorians regrouped, they flooded the tunnels with gas and sent in heavier machines. "I'm in the lowest tunnels." Mara listened to panicked whispers and realized something had changed. The Vexorians stepped up their assault. But now, for the first time, they faced a colony that was truly united. The Vexorians' next move was ruthless. They began collapsing the upper shafts and threatened to flood the mines with toxic sludge. Using the Vexorian drone, Patel barely recovered from his injuries, helped Mara coordinate ambushes. Teams of miners triggered rockfalls onto enemy patrols. Mara herself emerged as the heart of the rebellion. After a week underground, Mara learned the Vexorian leadership had established a command post above the main reactor. It was risky, maybe suicidal. But with the Vexorians tightening their grip and air running out, there was no other choice. That night, the rebels split into 3 teams, preparing for their final attack. The final battle raged through the heart of Sable 3. Patel's team disabled sensors, while Jin led children and elders to the deepest safe zone. They moved fast, timing their attack with another shift change. With seconds to spare, Patel rigged the reactor's failsafe, sending an energy surge racing through the Vexorian network. Machines shut down. By dawn, the Vexorians were in full retreat, dragging away what was left of their machines. Rescue ships arrived soon after, drawn by the signal Jin managed to boost during the chaos. Mara never considered herself a hero. She only wanted to paint the stars. And in the deep tunnels of Sable 3, her sketches remained, symbols of rebellion and hope. Shining in the darkness for generations to come,